from a black consciousness, I'm troubled by this discussion. Abantu abamnyama, black people, we have allowed ourselves to be colonized by concepts constructed to answer questions which got nothing to do with us. Sometimes I think that if we shut our minds and allow our tongues to roll, to speak these things which, people read a little bit of Marx, and he seemed to create this false reality which is not our reality. We are black people here in this country. Right now, our parents are facing racism in this school, in this university. Our parents come here to clean after us, and they run and clean this, this university. It's only us, black people. So my appeal is this: can we just love ourselves a little bit, and not care what the white revolutionary, the white worker, and white person's issue is? And there's nowhere in black consciousness where we say we're going to oppress any white person. But why are we so concerned as black people? Let's stay amongst ourselves. We must retain the country. The first thing a revolutionary Marxist will say, you see, there's white workers as well who suffer. Who cares? The version of South African communism.
I know it, speaks to a whole lot of you.
The version of South African. I came here under the impression that Butimanamela would be here. So I agree with the brother who left very angry. And he's a Lumumbis, that man. Oh, he's here, great. I agree with him. Also we must not speak as if we live in 1917. You are not in 1917. You are here in South Africa now, 2010. The World Cup is the World Cup. 2011, yes. The ANC alliance is in power. Don't speak as if there is no political class which is in power, which should be using the political power to transform our society. We speak in abstract, communism, gaining mean another type. No! Butimanamela and other comrades of the communists are in power in parliament right now as we speak, and what they have done with their power is to defend the white anti-black status quo. This is what they have done. So there is no communist party in South Africa. At least that's why we as Blackwash, we embrace totally the radical communism, we embrace totally the communist, the Paris Commune, we embrace it completely. We embrace completely the French Revolution. We embrace completely the Haitian Revolution. We have no problems. In fact, Robespierre is our friend. Robespierre, you know Robespierre? The Jacobins are our friends. The guys who are cutting heads. Because if they don't cut heads, the feudal, oppressive, violent system will have continued. So let us be clear about it. We have no problem with claiming those revolutions. But there's no communist party. Communist party in South Africa, when you think about it, it's a little bit like, in my imagination, a meat-eating vegetarian. So I declare myself a vegetarian, but I go eat meat. So let us be clear. And to that extent, and I'm for Blackwash as well, my point would be, we must accept that redistribution is very important. Redistribution of wealth is our work, by the way. And the Communist Party is afraid to say this because they will offend their white comrades. The land belongs to us, black people. The wealth belongs to us, black people. The ANC and the Communist is protecting this wealth and giving it to white people. We must be clear about that. Redistribution is important, but it's inadequate. So this is the point I think we're making. In Cuba, please go check, in the Cuban Revolution redistributed wealth, but not end the oppression of black people, at least in as far as discrimination is concerned. So you must still do the next thing, which is to centralize the interests of black people. I was going to go on and tell you this, that the problem now is symbolic. It's a symbolic one. Blackness occupies symbolic fields, and whiteness occupies different symbolic fields. That is why a white hobo is more important than you. Yes, it is. I and my friends were arrested here at Zoo Lake, and all my friends are lawyers and professionals, and they were so, feeling humiliated. And then when we went to jail at Parkhurst, Yeah. No, police station, Park View. There were white hobos also arrested. And the white hobos were treated better than us by the police system. And my black friends who are lawyers and professionals were even more incensed by this. But it's a symbolic power that, and where does it come from? It's not come from heaven. It was created by this point of, we were slaves, we were enslaved like animals. You have to understand that. No one else on earth had been enslaved the way we were enslaved. Slavery was there. White people were enslaved one another, but not the way they enslaved us. White slavery always allowed you to get out of slavery. So for instance, they will enslave you for 20 years or so on. When they enslaved us as animals, there was no way out. In fact, even when they raped us, and they were so-called colored children, they enslaved them in the same way they enslaved us. So we must, and that is the big, Marx is clear. I mean, you must read my pamphlet called Black Can Be Racist. Karl Marx, please Marxists, also read your Marx very closely. Even Karl Marx conceded this point to say, you understand, global capitalism, ethics emerged. The question of slavery is key, and this slavery is the one of black people. So we are clear, capitalism is anti-black. Capitalism is not our friend. We are going to destroy capitalism to assist us in the process of liberation. And that will conclude that by saying, for us, and in another pamphlet called Why People Not Vote, I try to explain black socialism from a black consciousness perspective. We want socialism, but ours is a black socialism. I was going to read you two letters. One written in '56, but I didn't know I didn't have the time. One written last year by Floyd Chibambu. The other one written by '56. The letter was written by a man called Amy Cizé. Amy, you have to understand Amy Cizé because the father of modern black radical thought. He was the teacher of Frantz Fanon. Okay, and he wrote a letter to the Communist Party, resigning the French Communist Party. And you know, he said to his French comrades, you come here and tell me about class and global questions, but you are discriminating against us and you are allowing colonialism in other black worlds. Therefore, your communism makes my black struggle, you know, it subsumes it into it, does not centralize it. Dianishia, he left. Last year wrote a letter, and I'm going to ask the people from BLACKWASH to put to put it on their Facebook to see it. You know, Floyd was a member of this thing, right? The communists. Yes, the communists. And then that man, he accused Cronin of being a racist. You know what Cronin did? The communists from Cuba were here, visiting. And they were saying some nice things about the ANC. And Cronin stood up and said, to this, in the front of Madame Nyama, Cronin Waki, telling these comrades from Cuba, you must not praise us so much. This African leadership here is corrupt. This what it says here in the letter. It is repeated by Floyd Chibambu. That is why that man was suspended and kicked out, because he raised two issues. He said, firstly, Oud Mandashe, who's the chairperson of the Communist Party, there's nothing communist about you. Now it's not me who's saying this, that the Communist Party is not communist, it's them saying this themselves. The second point, he says, this white communist is racist. Of course, I knew a long time ago that Cronin is racist. All white people are racist. Most of when they are in your struggle, they are there to civilize you. They are not there to do anything more than that. In fact, in the closing of this nice other pamphlet, written by white, by the way, this guy who wrote this one, that guy, don't know. Henry Bonke was an MK member. He wrote an essay I published called White Revolutionaries as Missionaries. This white guy is young, he's still there, he's a lawyer. He writes this after so many years of almost dying in the struggle for us. He says, when I look back as a, committed Marxist, and this guy is very educated. When I look back in my struggle and my commitment, I realized that I was there to save black people from destroying the whole society and destroying whiteness. Therefore, I was there primarily to save the white project. Even as I was prepared to die and for you guys and so on. But when you think carefully, I was there to save the white world. Just like Joslovo gave us the RDP house. Joslovo gave us the RDP house. You know this, I hope you know this. He was the first minister of housing. He designed the RDP house for you black people. I'm here, okay, thank you.